Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today. And I want to thank Chairman Sam Graves, Chairman Garrett Graves, Ranking Members Larson and Cohen for their work in passing this critical legislation. I am pleased to work alongside them and all the members of this committee to produce and pass this bipartisan FAA reauthorization. Now this committee faces the critical task of conducting oversight on its implementation. We must ensure that these important mandates addressing safety and passenger experience, spurring innovation and workforce growth, and cementing our commercial and general aviation sector's place as the world's gold standard are realized. Mr. Terreri, as you may know, my district in central and northwestern New Jersey has been the epicenter of unexplained drone sightings over the last number of weeks. What advice would you give to the FAA to modernize and to adapt to this emerging technology, particularly with regards to airports and places of interest like stadiums and governmental sites?
Thank you. So Syracuse Airport, we were one of the 5 airports that were selected to be part of the FAA's drone detection mitigation program. And out of that, they tested different technologies that could detect drone activity in and around the airport. One of the things that we have done in Syracuse is we have formed the Center of Excellence for Advanced Air Mobility and have what we call the New Air Alliance, where we actually now have a higher visibility and enhanced visibility on drone activity in and around the airport in Syracuse. We've hosted We've hosted the Department of Homeland Security, the Undersecretary. We've signed an MOA with the Undersecretary to help using our technologies to do drone detection. So there are systems that are out right now that can help detect. The challenge that we have is that if I detect a drone over my airport, I have no ability to do anything about it. The FAA, because this technology is not FAA technology, it can't be in the tower. So the FAA doesn't have the same visibility that we do as the airport on drones over our airports. So there's a couple things that can be done here, and it really just becomes some of that, a lot more coordination and collaboration of what we're seeing in the private sector into the FAA to solve some of these. On the issue of enforcement, if an operator is off the airport, who's responsible for that? I am not allowed to take a drone, do any kind of mitigation to a drone over our airport. There's nothing I can do about it. Is it local law enforcement? But who has the authority to mitigate in the drones once you've detected them? We can detect them. What do you do with it? That's the question that needs to get answered.
Yeah, people across the country are asking that very question. Thank you. Mr. Regan, as you note in your testimony, the 2024 reauthorization took steps to address mental health procedures among pilots and in the aviation industry, which is an issue about I've heard many concerns. However, the Biden administration's interpretation of these sections is unclear. In your opinion, what initiatives should the FAA take to clarify this element of the law and to address mental health challenges for pilots, mechanics, and controllers?
Thank you for the question. I think that the first step is starting, I think, in many industries, including aviation, where we have safety-sensitive responsibilities, whether you be a pilot or a controller or a maintenance worker. I think the acceptance and treatment of mental health conditions has lagged behind the broader country when it comes to recognition that this is a health problem that can be addressed through treatment, and with the right resources we can support people and see them through that challenge. Until we acknowledge that, and that people are not held at fault at risking their jobs because they are seeking help for something that they're going through, then we're not going to be able to adequately address the problem. And so we need to be able to clearly establish the health aspect of this and treat it as such, as opposed to the stigmatization that we've seen in the past around these issues.
Thank you. Mr. Bunce, this committee in the House have addressed various workforce challenges during our hearings and in the final reauthorization, particularly in terms of acquiring and maintaining the expertise necessary to certify new technologies, such as unmanned aerial systems and advanced air mobility technology. In your estimation, how is the FAA progressing on implementation of these rules to help the aviation industry?
Continue on, sir, with the program that they have for the knowledge basically the experience of being able to get with industry and being able to share that knowledge. Again, I think the FAA has done a great job in trying to attract young people, and quite frankly, that's who you're going to attract at the wage level that you have available to the FAA. We in industry are always going to be able to pay engineers more and young people more, but it's a great building ground for them to go into government and be able to learn how to be a regulator, because they become very valuable to us in the industry. But we have to give them the experience, and the only way that they're going to do that is if we have this knowledge sharing and get them on the road and learn about the new technologies out there and learn from the experience that we have resident in U.S. industry. That's probably the only way we'll be able to do it, and I do compliment the FAA for taking this seriously, going and making the budgetary moves within their internal budget to be able to get people on the road. And a lot of times we in industry will come to the FAA also and provide seminars and that for them on this new technology. But that's the only way it'll work. And that's why it is vitally important for us to continue on to be able to feed the FAA and to feed industry with young people through the workforce development grants that we need the appropriators to fund.
Thank you. I yield back.